Right. Well, we're not teaching religion over here.
We're not teaching religion, bro. We're teaching, the Bible is not a religious book. And there's not, the Lord himself, who you call Jesus Christ, he drank. Remember the story and the account in the scriptures where he went to a wedding and they were drinking? And they were drinking so much that they ran out of wine. And then Mary, the mother of Jesus, came to him and said, look, there's no more wine. And they said that was his first miracle.
It doesn't describe the fact that
Matthew 11 and 19.
he was drunk.
I got it. I got it.
The other thing that I'm going to say is that there's also a scripture in the Bible that says, hey, youth, do what you please.
Oh, really?
But remember, at the end of the
Where's
day...
that? Where's that scripture?
Call it. I'll read it for you right now if you know where it is.
We'll read it.
I got a scripture for you right here where this Bible says. Oh, you got that from Matthew 11 and 19. The Son of Man, the one who the world eagerly calls Jesus Christ, all right?
Yeah.
The Son of Man came eating and drinking.
He was eating, so he wasn't a spirit. He was his flesh and blood as me and you.
Yeah.
So that he was on the earth, he was a man.
Yeah, but what was he drinking?
We're going to read it. And they say, behold, a man gluttonous and a wine bibber.
A wine bibber. Because they saw him drinking that wine, man.
All right.
So the Lord...
And he was getting nice.
The Messiah drank. He drank alcohol.
You got it.
Oh, you got it?
There's a prophecy.
Read that real quick.
His real name is Yahweh Shai, number one. His name is not Jesus Christ.
Я с ними насчет религии разговариваю.
Hey, where you from? Albania?
Russia.
Russia.
Oh, okay.
All right.
You know about the Russian icons?
Yeah.
The icons in
Just
Russia?
like Sergio Kovalev.
All I'm going to say is this.
Triple
There's
G.
a lot of stuff, and I've read the Bible probably 3 times from start to go.
And you still don't know anything.
You don't understand it.
Let me ask you one question.
Okay.
And after this, I'm going to turn away. And whatever you demand, whatever your answer is the world round or flat?
The world is round.
Yeah?
That's all throughout the Bible.
Start greening.
All right?
Well, the world is round.
Yeah, we know that.
Read the first chapter and read it well, because God divided water from water to create man.
You don't understand that. The water from water is talking about the inner space and outer space.
Yeah, that's talking about the atmosphere.
It's
not
the
talking
atmosphere.
about...
That's what I'm
Because
talking about.
all that nonsense that everybody's been talking about is what's in your
Well,
head.
first of all, okay, well, let me ask
You know what? If you were raised from a little kid and you were told there's no God, there's no hell, there's no heaven,
You're going to believe
right?
that.
You're going to believe that.
Yeah, you're going to believe
But
it.
the thing of it is growing up as a kid, and when you're reading the Bible,
You could be taught anything.
start from...
You could, listen, I could teach a little kid that he's Superman, but that don't mean it's true.
Show me one picture without having an editing.
Of what?
Picture
Of what?
from the South Pole.
Well, first of all, Columbus proved the world was round.
Yeah, but here's it.
Right?
I could draw a circle like this,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
Wait a minute.
Columbus could have been settling all around like this.
Okay, but let me ask you a question.
I got a question
And
for
Antarctica's all around.
First of all, when you're on the shore and when you watch boats sail out, and then the boat disappears into the sun, into the horizon. And what reports have we heard about people walking off the edge of the earth?
No, I got one for him.
Yeah.
Wait. Hold on.
The thing of it is
If
you
the earth,
can't
if the
walk
earth
off
is
the edge.
flat,
You should be able
wait,
to.
let me say this. Brother.
Yeah.
If the earth is flat, how the hell can you circumnavigate?
How
What does
do
the
you
word
circumnavigate?
What does the word circa mean? Circa. What does it mean?
Trust me.
No, it don't mean
There's
trust me.
no
It means
way.
circle.
There's
It means
no
circle.
way you
It
can
means
go
circle.
around off.
That's
Because
Captain
created
Bligh.
in such a way.
Captain
You
William.
had sailors and
Show me a
explorers that
picture
have
from
sailed.
Captain William
Hold on.
Bligh
You had-
circumnavigated the
Show
earth.
me a non-edited picture from the South
Forget
Pole.
about
and then we'll talk.
pictures. We're not talking about pictures.
Because they got pictures
Well, we're
from
not
outer
talking about
space, but no
pictures.
stars.
We're talking about sailors in recent
Okay?
years that have
Look,
circumnavigated
I
the earth.
believe. I'm just telling
You
you.
understand what I'm saying?
The word hemisphere, hold on, what do you believe in?
Wait, you believe the Budweiser?
You believe in what?
That's
Budweiser.
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 You talking about the Bible you believe in?
Huh?
You talking about the Bible you believe in?
Yeah, read.
The Bible
read
says the
first
earth is
chapter.
round.
The Bible
No,
says the
show
earth is
me.
round.
Where?
It's a find
Wait a
Joe.
minute, we just celebrated Columbus Day.
That's a
Didn't
good point.
Columbus prove the earth was
Isaiah.
round?
What's that? Isaiah 40.
I really lost
the
now.
40.
In the first
Circle
chapter
of the earth.
the Bible, it says God divided water from water.
don't understand what
Isaiah 40,
Talk about that,
it's
bro.
in the 40th chapter, I believe.
40th chapter?
I
Let's talk about
believe.
the hemisphere.
I think
The
so.
hemisphere.
There was no water.
Or is it
back
in
then.
Job?
The word fear. The word fear. What does
The
that
time
mean?
that it
Listen,
flooded.
I got some news for you.
Is it
We
Isaiah?
in the waters
Got it?
right
Or
now.
is it Job? Is it Job? No, it's in Job.
Scripture here it is right
Yeah,
here.
read that.
This is in
Job.
Isaiah.
Oh,
Actually,
Isaiah.
Isaiah 40,
Oh, yeah, look.
21. All right, it says, have ye not known, have ye not heard? Has it not been told to you from the beginning? You're talking about Genesis, right? Do you know what the word Genesis means?
Yes.
What does it mean?
Genesis is the first chapter.
What does it mean, though, Genesis?
The word Genesis, what does it mean?
It means the beginning. There you go. Have you not been
Oh,
told?
wait a minute.
Hold on, hold on.
Right.
There you go. Pretty good. Have you not been told from the beginning? Have you not understood from the foundation of the earth when it was created? It is He, right? Who's the He? Him? That sitteth upon the circle of the earth.
The circle of the earth.
That's in the
Not the
Bible.
circle of the earth.
Now, you said
The
you
earth
believe in the
is
Bible.
round.
The earth is
Look,
round, man.
if you want to know how
The earth is
the
round,
earth is
man.
created, when you look up at the sun, what do you see?
The planets are
You
round.
see a
They
circle.
fought the earth
The
when he went
moon
from Russia to
is a
Israel.
sphere. The sun is a sphere.
And I got some news for
The
you.
earth is built the
All the
same.
planets
No,
are circle, but
all the
everything.
planets are
And I got some
spheres.
news
You
for
know
you.
what?
Everything
in
is
that,
circles around the
that
earth. The
text
earth
that
don't
you're
circle the
saying,
sun.
sure,
you're going way over
but you
the
know what?
second.
It's contradictive.
The
No, what's so contradictory about this?
That right
solar
there, if
system
you read the
circles the earth.
Genesis and then you read that right
Well,
there,
you don't understand
that's
Genesis.
when
You
you
don't
just be
understand
like,
that.
Hey,
no,
you
wait
don't
a minute.
understand-
You don't understand that.
You don't
man.
understand
You
Genesis.
don't
Yeah, you don't understand
the true
Genesis.
breakdown of that.
Matter of fact,
In order for you to know the Bible, number one, you
I gotta
know
go
the
watch the game.
Okay, well, you go ahead and watch the game. We'll be here.
Is that what Jesus would do? You go watch a game instead of
You know
debate the
what Jesus
scriptures?
would do?
now he'll be right out here speaking and
He'll be
we're
out here
doing.
telling.
He'll be doing what we're
You
doing.
want to be
Hey,
yelling
let him
at
forget.
me? You
Hey, it's
would
all
just
right.
sit there
If you really
quiet,
want to
you
learn,
would-
if you really want to learn, you'll stay there.
Well,
Just
actually,
listen.
actually,
about the game.
actually, he yelled a lot louder than we
He yelled
did.
a lot louder
Said
than what
his
we
voice
did.
was the sound of
when he
a
preached,
waterfall.
yes.
That's right. And
Of course, we're preaching. What
And
are we
we're
doing?
preaching.
I asked you a question.
We're preaching.
Exactly, we're
We're
preaching.
preaching.
And we answered your
You got an
question.
audience out there. Don't run, man.
Listen.
Hey, man, yeah, I hear you, man. You bugged out, though, bro.
That's a madman.
But you know
Now,
what?
first of all, he said he's from Russia. How come we didn't fall off the earth when he came over here?
Yeah. Yeah. But it just goes to show you. But it shows one thing. You got all kind of bugged out philosophies and doctrines.
Yeah.
You got people out here, and it goes back to Esau, the elites, you elites. What you're doing is, this truth is really boring a hole into this society, man. And you got all these Israelite camps and brothers waking up and teaching all over the world. So the world is starting to see again that we are the Israelites. Because the so-called white man has spent billions and billions upon dollars to keep the truth of us being the people on this side. But now Israel is waking up, and that scares Esau. So what they're doing on the internet, you got us, the men of the Lord, the prophets, Israel, teaching all over the world. And what the so-called white man is doing, he's putting out misinformation. You got all kind of bugged out doctrines and philosophies out here. Like, this is what I wanted to say. This is the new thing, but that's not new. It's really old. Back when I first came into the truth, back in 1 West, even in 1 West, and listen, I'm going to say this, and I wanted to do a video on this, but hell, I'll go into it now. Maybe I'll still do a video on it. When I first came into the truth, back in 1 West, back in Harlem in the old days, and I'm going to clarify myself. King Marshall, High Priest Ariel, High Priest Yaquab, they wasn't pushing this madness. They wasn't pushing it. And I'll even go as far as to say some of the other so-called high priests of the time, and I'm gonna be in particular, like at the time, High Priest Shia, Shaw, and even Kazakh, right? The so-called top 7. They wasn't pushing that. They believed in the other tribes. They was teaching it in the school. Okay? High Priest Ariel, King Ma, they were fond of the other tribes. Like High Priest Ariel, his mother was a Reubenite from my tribe. High Priest Ariel's woman was, Salakia. His mother was a so-called Seminole Indian from Florida. High Priest Ariel is from Florida. High Priest Yaquab was from Florida. Okay? And I know because I knew these men personally, and I used to sit down with High Priest Yaquab, myself and Apostle Gabar, and he's showed me, he said, yeah, brother, you a North American Indian, and my woman's a North American Indian. Yeah, brother. I was sitting in his room with him, and he pulled out the picture, and he showed me a picture of his wife when she was young, pretty looking Reubenite woman, man, Seminole Native American woman. Okay, so the top high priests, they didn't push that madness of the other tribes and not the Israelites. But now this movement, it seems to be growing up, that they're pushing that madness a lot now. You got these group of bugged out niggas, I don't know who they are exactly. They pushing that the Latinos and the Native Americans are not Israelites. And they're saying, yeah. And I saw 2 videos came up on my feed. And who else? The black woman, some bugged out black bitch. This one black bitch, she was pushing that thing with dreadlocks in her hair. Yeah, the Hispanics are white people, they're Caucasian. Those light-skinned Native Americans, they're Caucasian. They're not Israelites, they're not in the tribes. All the 12 tribes are black. They're of Negro descent. These are people that are just bugged out their goddamn mind. But I know, well, the spiritual demon Satan is pushing that, but Esau is pushing it too, because anything to debunk or go against the coming together of Israel. And that's also, because that's scared, you got to realize, that scares the so-called white man. If you got Negroes, so-called people from the Caribbean, West Indians, Jamaicans, Haitians, Native Americans, and the so-called Hispanics coming together, that scares the goddamn white man. All these tribes, these different groups of minorities coming together, that scares Esau. So they got to really push hard to try to keep the tribes separated. But who they enlist? They enlisting simple-minded niggas and nigga women to try to push that. But that spirit is not new. It goes back actually to One West. It actually goes back to One West. I'm gonna be honest. Now, the high priest and the top teachers of the school, they wasn't pushing that. King Marshall never pushed that. High priest Ariah never pushed it. High priest Jacob, out of the so-called top 7, and I'm gonna tell the truth, there was one of them who did push that vibration, and he was the one that was pushing that vibration out, more than likely, because maybe when he was in the world, before he came into the truth, maybe he had issues with the other tribes, Lahab, okay? That damn Lahab, so-called general or high priest Lahab, right? He was the main guy that would push that vibration, and then there were certain other niggas back in the school. See what it was when maybe when before they came into Israel, and because the tribes had that animosity with each other. So maybe a lot of guys when they was in the world, maybe they tried to talk to a Puerto Rican woman, and the Puerto Rican woman dissed them, so it hurt their feelings, animosity, or maybe they got into a fight with a Puerto Rican dude in school or a Mexican dude in school,
or one of their women left them for one
or maybe your woman left
other
you
tribes.
for another tribe, whatever. Or maybe you got jumped by some Mexicans, or you got jumped by some Dominicans or Puerto Ricans, or maybe you got into some issues with some North American Indians. Whatever the case may be, you already had issues with the tribes. They all hate each other. Nigga, whatever, spick, channel, nigga, all that